Greetings, welcome everybody to our Solidarity Cooperative Conference 2022 with Repair Nations. And our theme this year is I versus we. And yeah, we've been gearing for this conference. And before this conference, we had a pre-conference, our Let's Build session. And during that session, we had a deep, in-depth conversation about Black identity. And this conversation was sparked by our good brother Krishna, who works with Repair Nations. Krishna is a thought leader, and he's also a part of Okanda, which is a real estate development program in Repair Nations. And he thought it was very important for us to be able to identify what is Black. I know we have a lot of different definitions about, being Black or African or just identifying ourselves as a people. But Krishna thought it'd be very important to highlight this topic to see what everybody's thoughts and opinion was about being Black and how we can come together to identify, come together more cooperatively within working with each other. So Krishna is going to do a breakdown from our Let's Build, showing different video segments about the conversation. Then he's going to open up a topic for people to come in and discuss, and just to get some clarity. So yeah, please give it up for Krishna Cox, and he's going to be having an open dialogue and conversation.
Can you just define Blackness? Because I like where you were going with it. So I'm like, I don't even want you to go. Just please go ahead.
Yeah, well, for me, I believe in the one drop rule, and I'm grateful for what John Pierre shared when he talked about anyone who is going to fight for freedom is Black indeed. And so if you are a part of the African diaspora, if you are a part of the ancestry that bled, sweat, died for Black liberation and Black liberated spaces, and you understand the importance of Black freedom and liberation and having our own liberated spaces and self-determination, then you are Black. And that is what I'm excited to work with people, because even though you might have melanated skin, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are kinfolk, right? They say all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And so I need to know what your mindset is. And that for me defines our mindset, defines our Blackness.
Thank you. Next up, we'll be going to Galen Logan. Will you please define what Blackness is to you?
I'll be brief as I possibly can, because I pondered over this question when I got it. And, the first thing that comes up for me is George Clinton and some of his music back in the 70s. In particular, certain notes devoid of funk. And I believe Blackness is a beat, a rhythm, a certain frequency that I believe when you're melanated, it's sort of like that Wi-Fi. But I do believe that there's things that get in the way and block that rhythm. And some of us, become afraid of dancing in our rhythm. But we all have a beat. We all have a very unique beat, just like our fingerprint. And I believe that when you tap in and to that beat and to that rhythm, there is nothing that can stop you. And especially if we can tap in collectively and we can all be in our rhythm and our beat and not afraid to dance to that beat and that rhythm. I believe many of us are afraid of that beat and that rhythm. And I think that's what gets us in trouble. That's what gets us seeing the realities that we see here in this country. And lastly, I'll just say, it's sort of something that an uncle of mine used to tell me, and he used to say, walk in the world like you own it, and the world will respond accordingly. And so I think it's like that. I think when we walk in that rhythm, the world will respond accordingly, and we will once again claim our greatness. And I'm complete with that.
Thank you, Galen. Next up, we have Tarita Michael. What is Blackness?
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. This is truly an exciting time because so many are afraid to take this movement forward. But what is Blackness? Wow. So Black matter operating in and around the Black body of the 7 or 12 chakras, or varied language from different continents. There are thousands of languages we speak throughout the world that carry a visual, mental, psychological, emotional, spiritual, and physical text connected to the environment. And there are also epistemic rims of Blackness within the girth of the earth that we should look at as well, which are not based in Christian, Muslim, or Islamic religions, which are a colonial construct. And so there's the African American Blacks, the North American Indian, related to the Kikuyu of East Africa Black, South American Black, Mexican, Southeast Indian, Dravidian, Melanesian, Filipino, Negrito, Samoan, Australian, Cuban, Southwest China, Native Australian Black, or Africans throughout the continent, once called Dark Asia, because you can also trace those languages from West Africa to Southwestern China. And then, yeah, of the Khan understanding and the Dogon Yoruba Egyptian, they're all Black. And like the brother who just spoke before me, speaking of that rhythm, because we deal with the rhythms as the Dogons did, understanding on earth as it is in heaven, not as just a concept, but a vision. So when teaching in the schools, getting children to see, adults, teacher in services, to see what is being said, so we can actively participate in the grounding in the earth, as a sister is doing her work, getting people to get that land back, because we tried doing this in Oakland as well. But that's basically what Blackness is. You know, it's the melatonin, the melanin in the skin. It's, you know, it's an identity that many cultures I've known through the Black Panthers, and there are Black Panthers in the Philippines and Australia, everywhere. There are Panthers who know that if we're pushed against the wall, we're gonna have to attack and move forward, regardless of who tries to pin us down. So we keep moving forward and giving thanks. Thank you.